Hello and welcome to Lynchburg Live. I'm your host, Linda Smith. Heimdal Science Fiction, a 501c3 organization, is a small local club that does some pretty big stuff for the community. They fund a lot of community charities by doing one big fundraiser a year, which is an annual public charity auction. My guests tonight are Glenda Blanks and Dennis Henderson, members of Heimdal Science Fiction, who will be telling us about their club and about this upcoming auction. Glenda, Dennis, welcome to Lynchburg Live.
Glad to be here.
You know, as we get started, I just wanted to say that I'm so glad to have Heimdal Science Fiction back on the show to tell us about your upcoming auction, because you all do such wonderful stuff in the community. Now, either one of you can answer these questions, but as we start, will one of you just tell our audience what Heimdal Science Fiction is?
It's a gathering of science fiction fans, originally based on Star Trek. It's become a good science-based program as well as a charity organization, and helping certain charities along the way and being a provider to the community.
Right.
And we're part of Starfleet, which is an international organization.
And internationally, there's a ton of chapters all over the place.
Over 4,000.
Oh, over 4,000 members.
Yes.
Yeah.
A little bit of difference.
Yeah, but there are international clubs all over the place, and you know, this organization has grown quite a lot since I stepped into it, and probably since both of you stepped into it too. So how long has this organization been active in the Lynchburg community?
30 years. We just celebrated our 30th anniversary.
And that's kind of unusual for a club like this to last this long.
Yes.
And to continue to be so successful. How many members do we have?
Currently we have 50.
That's a lot of people.
Yes. We're one of the largest chapters in Starfleet.
That's great. Right now, what positions do you hold, or what do you do within the club?
I'm the part of the engineering department. Current rank is commander, something like that, I believe. My duties are pretty much gophering, helping where I need to be, and general cook and bottle washer type.
And you were a lot of help at the auction last year. And Glenda, what about you?
Well, I'm communications chief, and within that we handle the publicity for the auction. And we put out our monthly newsletter and send out condolences and thank you cards to our guest speakers, and that's what we do.
All right. Do you hold regular meetings, and
Yes.
when and where? How often?
It's every month, the third Saturday every month at the Madison Heights Library.
Yeah. All right. I know that people think that if you are a science fiction club, that you just get together and you watch old Star Trek episodes and you sit around in Spock ears, but that's not what this organization does, is it?
Oh no, we're very community-based. We have a lot of guest speakers, you know, that the public is invited to. We've done, last week we had Dr. Neary from Virginia State, and he was talking about aquaculture and how NASA's going to be using that on the some of the flights. So it's, we've always got, of course, there are some meetings that during the year that are like our Christmas party and our Halloween party, but a lot of our meetings are purely informational, and we have some good guest speakers.
Yeah. I think, you know, one of the things that we do is we try to educate as well as entertain. And I really think that the fact that we have such a wide variety, diversity in our guest speakers, balanced with the fun we do at things like the Halloween party and our annual Chili Fest and movie night, that we actually have something for everybody. You know, if you don't like one meeting, you're surely going to like another one. So.
Right. And it's hard with, you know, the movies come out every couple of years or so, but there isn't an active Star Trek series on right now, so it'd be kind of hard for us to dwell just on that.
That's right. You know, after we've been here 30 years, and after 30 years, you can only talk about, what was it, 69 episodes so many times. All right. Now, what other kind of speakers have we had? Because I know.
Let's see, we had an astronomer from, was it Lynchburg College?
Yeah.
One time, and then another astronomer that came out with his telescope and demonstrated what was out there. And they had a skybot or a sky cam to photo in.
Oh yeah, he was great.
Pull in what the star was, and you can identify it, and it told you what it was about. So we've got a wide variety of education going on.
Yeah.
And we had a lady come and tell us about, she's in charge of robotics.
Future focus.
Yes, to take robotics to school children. And that was fascinating, what she does with those kids.
And she even brought a robot and let everybody
Yeah.
have hands-on
Yeah.
time with that robot, which is really cool. And I guess it was last summer we had Sean Sublett from WSET came and told us about our changing weather patterns, which, you know, everybody was really fascinated. And he ended up in one of our videos by being Captain Picard and saying engage. So anyway, all right, you also get together socially as friends, I guess, because a lot of people in this group have been in this group for a long, long time. How long, Dennis, have you been?
Oh,
I mean, I know you've been off and on, but
off and on. I mean, I would say at least 10 years of that time.
At different times. You've probably got maybe 20 years with us all together.
Yeah,
And
I started collecting Star Trek stuff when I was probably 15.
yeah.
So
And Glenda,
About 25.
yeah, you and your
Almost
husband have been
25.
here this long. So with that kind of longevity, and the majority of our people have been here 10 years or more. You know, we're getting some new people along the way, but
Oh, we're just one big happy family.
yeah, go
And
by
we
it,
enjoy getting together.
yeah, we do.
I go by, I like the diversity of things of the group. Go back to Spock's thing, the IDIC.
Yeah,
So,
and infinite diversity
Right,
from
infinite
infinite combinations. But you do things socially. Like, what are some of the social things that you do?
Well, recently we had a potluck pizza party where everybody brought their favorite topping, and the home that we had it at, they supplied the dough and the
Sauce?
yeah, the stuff you put on the pizza. And the rest of us brought our favorite toppings, so we made different pizzas.
I think we all get along simply because we've known each other for so long. And I mean, we're like one big family. I was going to say dysfunctional family, but what family isn't dysfunctional to a degree? But
Right.
you know, I think
We
that-
put the fun in dysfunction.
yeah, we do. We do. All right. Now, this club is very much involved in community service. And would you tell our audience what kind of community service we do?
oh, let's see, what do we do? We'd help the Salvation Army Food Pantry, Amherst and Lynchburg Humane Society shelters. What is it, a Sleepy Hollow Cat Shelter?
It's a no-kill cat.
No kill.
shelter. Let's see, a UVA Pediatric Cystic Fibrosis Fund.
And that was because one of our members died of
Uh-huh.
cystic fibrosis.
We also, what else, Glenda?
Well, let's see, we sponsor 2 senior citizens at Christmas time through Home Instead. And that's something very important that we do, because I read somewhere that these people, that's the only Christmas they have, is what's provided for them through Home Instead. And we do 2 of those. And I just think that's such fantastic. We also do 2 Angel Tree children. We sponsor a welfare child through Lynchburg Social Services. Who am I leaving out, Linda?
Let's
We
see.
send our kids to space camp.
Yes,
Yeah.
And, you know, that's a really important thing that we do.
yes.
And, you know, if we can make enough money at the auction, which we're going to talk about, then we cover all of those charities, but then we we are able to send a kid to space camp. And you want to tell us anything about that? That's such a cool thing that we do.
Okay, the space camp started out as a competition, an essay competition with amongst the high school?
Middle school kids.
To send that in and say why they want to go to space, what drives them for science. So we review all the entries, and who gets the best one gets to go.
Yeah.
I think one year we sent 2.
We sent 2 in 1999, which was a long time ago, and then the price for one it doubled, and we weren't doing any big fundraisers at the time, so
It's like $1,300 to send one.
yeah, $13.69 is what it costs for this
Down
year's
in
child.
Huntsville, Alabama.
Yeah. But so when we started doing these auctions, that's when we started being able to make enough money to sponsor our charities, and as well as send a kid to space camp, which is so cool. Now, we're a 501c3 organization. I keep saying we because this is the organization that I'm president of, so I'm part of this too. But we're a 501c3, and can you just tell our audience what that means? Because I'm sure they hear other organizations say we're a 501c3.
Well, it means that we're a nonprofit and that you can give to us and take it off your taxes.
Yep, and we're registered with the IRS as such, and because of that, I have to file an income tax return every year. Nothing lengthy, but you know it helps us because people are more than willing, or more willing to donate to you when you have that designation, and they know that they can take it off their taxes. So how do we fund these charities and this space camp kid that we send every year?
This is an annual auction from community, business, small businesses, large businesses, donations from their stuff to raise money for our charities.
Yeah, and we go out and start pounding the pavement in March.
Yeah, we solicit a couple months, several months ahead to even get started to make sure they can do it. They can commit to us something.
Right.
Or we, go on and find some other contributors.
Yep. And this year we started out slow, and we thought we weren't going to have a whole lot of donations. And Glenda, what has happened in the last couple weeks?
I don't know. We ballooned up to 281. So
Yeah, that's quite a lot.
something for everybody. We have gift cards, home interior, auto stuff. Something for everybody.
Yeah, we really do. I'm really impressed with what we have this year. Now, all this is funded by this auction that we do.
Right.
So can you tell us where and when this year's auction is going to be?
It's at the Holiday Inn downtown. It's going to be August the 16th. The doors open at 12. The auction starts promptly at 1 o'clock.
Right, and we give them that extra hour so that people can come in
To peruse our merchandise.
right, and find a good seat, and
Decide what they want to bid on.
right. And we also give everybody who comes a guest packet, and your packet has your bidding number on the outside, so you can just raise that packet. But they also can find a comfortable seat, ask questions, find out where things are, and we found out that works so much better, giving people an opportunity to have a little time. Now, is this a silent auction? What kind of auction is this?
This is a regular auction. This is a silent auction. This is something you write up. This is an active, participating auction where you actually put up your card and you bid on the item.
And we have an active auctioneer.
Our auctioneer is a minister, and he does very well. He has a sense of humor, and he does very well for us.
Yeah. I think that people come back year after year, a lot of them, just to see Carl. And, we do have, since we've been doing this and advertising it, we have a lot of the same people come back year after year. And we've sort of gotten to feel like they're family, too, because we know these people by first names and stuff. All right. So how many items do we usually have, approximately?
It's around, 200, 230 maybe.
So this 281
is over the top.
yeah,
We're
that
probably
really,
going to do a lot of bundling.
yeah. All right, let me ask you a question. We brought some pictures to show, and these are just general pictures, but Phil, if you'll put them up on the monitor, we'll tell people what they are. I do want to say that Glenda broke her ankle last weekend hopping from a shuttlecraft onto the Starship.
These are DSAs that
Regional, yeah.
regional awards.
They're regional awards that our people won. We've been very fortunate to win a lot of awards and get a lot of recognition.
And how many ships are in our region?
60 some. I think it's 61 or 62 now, something like that.
And we won Chapter of the Year this year, didn't we?
Yep. Past 2 years, actually. Now, this is last year's
Last year,
auction.
Mm-hmm.
And I see Dennis standing against the wall, auctioneer. These are the people who came. And
You were a runner, right, Dennis?
Yeah, runner, sitter, poser.
Tell them what a runner does.
Runner is giving the winning bid the item and going back and getting the next one so they keep things moving in a timely fashion.
We had 6 empty seats last time, that was all. And I'll tell you about this one. This was at Mysticon in Roanoke in February. It's a science fiction convention. And this chapter we had a table, a fan table, and we were able to sell our cookbooks. We have a chapter cookbook. And we were there in costume. We got to meet people. We had a display. And we had a lot of fun doing that. Now this, Glenda, you want to tell them about this since you're the bearded person with the red beard?
This is Duck Salad, who has made several appearances under protest at various functions. This was a talent night we had in June, and we made up some filks and sang along.
For those people who don't know what filking is, you take a well-known song
Like
and
Folsom Prison Blues.
like Folsom, yeah, and then you write your own lyrics that ties in with your group or whatever you do. And so Glenda wrote one of the songs, I wrote the other one, and
Heimdal Break Blues.
yeah, and we did a presentation, and I think what makes it so funny is, well, we're funny because none of us can sing. Maybe Carl can sing, but this year we sort of adapted ourselves to be kind of like Duck Dynasty, and of the 5 of us, 4 of us have beards and 3 of us are women. So we have a lot of fun doing this. All right, enough of Duck Dynasty. I think another picture is coming. There it is.
Yeah, there we are.
And there we are, because the members of this group won a trophy for being willing to make another public appearance.
But we're not going to do another one for another 10 years,
Yeah,
right?
that's what I
Glenda?
hear. Okay.
Okay.
Oh.
Tell us about this, Dennis.
This is mine. Okay, this is my cross-stitch project I had. You recognize it's what's that thing? It's a Jules Verne thing, but it's a George Millay movie of the astronauts going into the moon.
And you actually did this with counted cross stitch.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was pretty incredible that you did that. And that was a talent night, too.
This is our Space Camp kid this year, Kylie Holbrook. She is She's 13. She's from Amherst Middle School. And she went to Space Camp in the middle of June.
Her dad said she had a wonderful time, and we were excited to send another girl. We get more boys, but last year and this year we've had females, and I think that's great. There's Carl.
Yeah, he presented, he can time these things out, he'll push them along, he'll make a joke here and there, just lighten the mood and to keep on going.
There you can see some of the things that we auction off. We have some lamps and some, we get car wash kits from O'Reilly Auto Parts.
There's at the auction, standing back, waiting. Carl's auctioning off an item. I've got a gift certificate in my hand, and Bonnie and Dennis and Chris on the other end are waiting to take the item to the person who has the winning bid. There's a lot that goes into this auction. And there we are. All right, one of the questions I was gonna ask is, has the economy affected our auction at all? And
Oh yeah, we have people who don't give to us anymore because they just can't afford to. And then we've had some businesses that have gone out of business. So it's hard.
right, and a lot of people have told us this year, no, I can't do this. And one restaurant told us that he couldn't make a donation because he has people coming in asking for donations but not representing an organization, and he says he knows that they're wanting a handout. So that kind of thing has hurt us too. And you would say had hurt us until you look at these 281 items we have. So that I think shows the hard work that our people do, even in bad economic times, that have gone out there and been able to get this number of donations. Do you have any other specific items that you'd like to mention? I know we have a three-legged stool that you donated.
Stool, yes.
And it's really nice.
This is something came out of my mother's estate, so it's gracious enough to put it out there.
Yeah, it's very nice.
We have some lamps that were donated by Grand Piano. We have gift certificates from like the Crown. Who else? El Cabritos. Who else? Travelers.
That's great. We only have 5 more minutes, believe it or not. I wanted to ask you quickly how we advertise this auction.
Well, we contact people and send them PSAs. So we have little bits in the newspapers and on the radio, and you go on the radio, and then our
And this.
right,
And we also have a Facebook event page.
Mhm.
right.
And word of mouth, and I sent out 86 flyers to people who have been to the auction beforehand. So if we can get the word out there, that's real important. Now, another quick answer. How do your guests pay for their auction items?
A cash, check, or charge. I believe we're using if they charge, they can use a charge card. It's a 2.88% fee if you run it through our little machine.
Yeah, and we can't absorb that fee because it takes away from what we're making, but we do have that option to use your credit and debit card. I know quickly this is very difficult to organize, but we've been doing it for such a long time that we've gotten it kind of down to a system.
Yeah.
Now, one more thing I wanted to ask you in this couple minutes we have left is just briefly tell our audience what belonging to this organization means to you.
It's a family. It's been growing since day one. We've got a responsibility. We've grown with each other, matured with each other, helped each other in good times, bad times.
Right. And I think that's so important. How about you, Glenda?
It's like Dennis said, it's a family, and we really enjoy each other's company. So,
And I think one of the things is that we've helped each other through loss, family loss, and through some really hard times, and that certainly has brought us closer. Thank you so much for being on this show.
thank you for having
You did a
us.
wonderful job. I hope you've enjoyed tonight's show, and will join us on August 16th at the Holiday Inn downtown starting at 12 noon for our annual charity auction. My next show will feature a budding local poet. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful evening. Good night.